Hi, I am Prashant Kumar in Computer Science and Engineering, MS Engineering College, Bangalore. In this video, I am going to explain syntax-directed definition part 2. In the previous video, I have explained syntax-directed definition. We have seen with example how we can write syntax-directed definition of a context-free grammar. In this video, we will discuss a little more about syntax-directed definition. It is actually a syntax-directed translation, one of the notation, a generalization of a context-free grammar, and we are attaching a semantic rule to the production for evaluating the attribute associated with the nodes of the parse tree or grammar symbols. There are two types of syntax-directed definition we can see. One is S attributed definition and second one is L attributed definition, and this classification we have made based on the assumption how we will implement the syntax-directed definition while doing the parsing operation. And this is actually syntax-directed definition is nothing but we are analyzing the program or string while doing the syntax analysis. We are performing semantic analysis while doing syntax analysis. That is what syntax-directed definition. In implementation perspective, so syntax-directed definition is classified into two categories. One is S attributed definition and second one is L attributed definition. And let us see what is each. So S attributed definition is, here we would like to evaluate the semantic rules during parsing. So that is in a single parse, perform the parsing operation, and during that parsing itself we are evaluating the semantic rule in order to get the value of the attribute associated with the grammar symbol. Look at two subclasses of syntax-directed definition. One is S attributed definition. It is one category where we will consider here only the synthesized attribute used in the syntax-directed definition. In S attributed category, only synthesized attribute we will consider. So broadly, all attributes are classified into two categories. One is synthesized attribute, second one is inherited attribute. And in the case of synthesized attribute, the attribute value of a node is calculated by using the attribute value of the children of that node. That is what synthesized attribute. In inherited attribute, the attribute value of an inherited attribute of a node is calculated by using the attribute value of the siblings or parents of the node of the parse tree. So S attributed definition, we will consider only synthesized attribute. In the second category, L attributed definition, here we will include all synthesized attribute plus inherited attribute with a restricted fraction. We will not consider all type of inherited attribute, certain type of inherited attribute, and there should be imply some sort of restriction. To implement S attributed definition and L attributed definition, it is easy, and compared to L attributed definition, S attributed definition is little more easier. First, we will consider how we implement S attributed definition. The implementation of S attributed definition is nothing but how we will evaluate the semantic rule associated with the production, where that semantic rule is used for evaluating the synthesized attributes, because this is categorized under S attributed definition. We have studied bottom-up parser, and we know that how we will do the bottom-up parsing of a string, and shift reduce parser is a bottom-up parser. So in shift reduce parser, we have seen that input string is there and one stack is there and parsing algorithm is there, and parsing table also we will use, and it will produce the output based on the current input symbol and stack. So in a bottom-up parser, we can evaluate S attributed definition while maintaining one more stack along with the existing. So that is called a parallel stack, where this parallel stack is used for storing the synthesized attribute of the symbols which we pushed onto the stack. So let us see here, suppose we are pushing Z onto the stack, then each synthesized attribute Z dot small z we will store in the parallel stack corresponding position. And suppose we are inserting Y onto the stack, then Y dot Y is the synthesized attribute of Y, so that we will store in the corresponding position. So pushing operation is nothing but the shifting operation. So that is one action performed by the shift reducer parser. The second operation, suppose it is a reduction operation. Reducing is nothing but we have identified a handle from the top of the stack, and we will replace that handle by the head of the production, because handle is matched with the right side of a production, that is acted as a handle, and that handle is replaced by the head of the production, because handle is matched with the right side of the production, body of the production, so we will replace body by the head. For example, we are replacing Z, Y and X. Suppose that act as a handle, then we can replace this one by A. A is the head and X, Y, Z is the body. X, Y, Z is act as the handle. Then the synthesized attribute of A is A dot A is evaluated by using the attribute associated with the symbols in the handle, that is Z dot Z, Y dot Y, X dot X. By using this, we can evaluate what is the synthesized attribute of A, and we will replace all these X, Y, Z from the stack, and X dot X, Y dot Y and Z dot Z is replaced by corresponding value obtained after performing the operation, after evaluating the semantic rule associated with. This is the way we will continue, and finally when the parsing is finished, and we will get the corresponding attribute and attribute values by evaluating the corresponding semantic actions. This is what happening in bottom-up evaluation. It's a brief description. I'm not discussing more about bottom-up evaluation of S attribute definition. The example how we will do that, look at E gives E1 plus T, and we want to find out E dot value. Very simple. We will find value dot n top is equal to value dot top minus 2 plus value of top, then you will get n top, new top. Similarly, we can evaluate S attribute definition while performing top-down parsing. The same way, while doing predictive parser, we can perform the evaluation of S attribute definition, what we have did in the case of bottom-up parser. Yeah. Then second category, L attribute definition, and this is little bigger class of SDD. S attribute definition can be efficiently implemented with the help of bottom-up or top-down parsing, and we are looking for a little bigger class of SDD, that is L attribute definition can always be evaluated by the depth first visit of the parse tree. So once we construct the parse tree and perform the depth first search of the parse tree, and the visiting may be visiting the node or processing the node may be either pre-order or post-order. If you are performing post-order traversal, then you can evaluate semantic rule. If you are performing pre-order traversal, then also we can evaluate semantic rules. This means always be evaluated during the parsing. That is, L attribute definition we can evaluate with the help of depth first search during the parsing. What is L attributed definition? A syntax directed definition is L attributed if each inherited attribute of xj were 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n on the right side of A gives x1, x2, xn. So this is the production, and we are associating semantic rule to this production, and if it is a L attributed definition, then the attribute of the symbol x1 etc xj minus 1 to the left of xj in the production. See, for example, the inherited attribute of sj depends only on the attribute symbols of x1, x2 etc xj minus 1 and the inherited attribute of a. That is what L attributed definition. See, let us see, I will give an example. Suppose a gives, see, this is a, then here we will write x1 etc, the last one is xn, and suppose here we are considering xj, then inherited attributes of xj, this node depends only on the attribute value of the symbols which is left of xj in the production. A gives x1, x2 etc xn, and the inherited value of the parents of xj. So definitely the parent is a. Okay, so if it is left means, so if xj depends on the attribute of left symbol or the parent symbol means, by doing the depth first search we can evaluate the inherited attribute of xj. And in the case of synthesized attribute, there is no restriction. Every S attribute definition is L attributed. The restriction only apply to the inherited attribute. Okay, this type of restriction 1 and 2 is only for inherited attribute. In synthesized attribute there is no restriction. So L attribute definition contain both inherited and synthesized attribute, but all inherited attribute we can't consider here. We will consider only the inherited attribute. The restriction is the inherited attribute of xj depends on the attributes of the symbols which is left of xj and inherited attribute of parents. And if xj is depends on inherited attribute of xj is depends on any symbol which is right of xj in the production, then it is not a L attribute definition. That is what L attribute definition is telling. Look at here a definition which is not a L attributed. Let us see. A gives LM. So the production is A. So its past tree is looking like L and here M. Okay, dot in indicate inherited attribute, dot S indicate synthesized attribute. So A gives LM, this is the past tree. Then inherited attribute of L depends on where L, M and F etc. are functions, semantic functions. So inherited attribute of L depends on its parent. A is a parent node, so there is no problem. It is coming under L attribute definition. And inherited attribute of M, that is what M dot in, depends on the synthesized attribute of L. No problem, it is valid. Okay, because L is left of M in the production. A gives LM. Then synthesized attribute of S depends on the synthesized attribute of EM. Okay, that is also valid. Okay, synthesized attribute means there is no issue. Only the inherited attribute. Yeah, this condition is satisfied. This condition also satisfied. Then look at here. Inherited attribute of Q. So here A will come, Q will come, and R will come. Okay, inherited attribute of Q. Okay, inherited attribute of Q depends on synthesized attribute of R. So that is a invalid association, because the inherited attribute of Q depends on either its parent or the symbol which is left of Q. Fortunately in Q, the symbol Q which is the leftmost symbol, there is no left of Q. So it can depends only on its parent A. But here in this case, here Q dot in depends on R dot S. It is actually R is right of Q, so it is not a valid L attributed definition. And this is also valid because synthesizer attribute of A depends on synthesizer attribute of Q. There is no issue. So that is why here this is not a L attributed definition, but this is a L attributed definition. So that is about S attributed and L attributed definition. And S attributed definition very easily we can evaluate by doing passing operation. L attributed definition also we can evaluate by doing passing and performing depth first visit on the pass tree constructed by passing. And translation schema, it is another notation equivalent to SDD. In SDD, we will associate semantic rule to the production, but we will not say when to evaluate the semantic rule for getting the attribute value. But in the case of translation scheme, we clearly mention when to evaluate the semantic rule, and we will associate the semantic rule to the production. And look at here we have a production of the form A gives X, Y, and here we are placing semantic rules in translation scheme are placed by using curly bracket. Okay, closing and opening and closing curly bracket. In between we will write what is the action we need to perform. So if we are placing here, this is a one rule, this is another rule associated with this production, and this is the third rule associated with this production. So by evaluating this rule, this production, so we need to evaluate this semantic rule before reaching X, and we need to evaluate this rule before reaching Y, and we need to evaluate this rule at the end of the production. When we reaching Y, then only we will evaluate this rule. That is the meaning of the position. So this is the way translation schemes are defined. When we are not discussing much about translation scheme, here I am concluding the syntax directed translation. So thank you for watching the video. We will see you with a new video with a new topic.